everybody, it's Ms.Autry. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use integer subtraction with models. I'm going to model it with the 2-color counters, and then we're going to be modeling it on these number lines down here. So far we've done adding integers, but now we're going to move on to subtraction of integers. So the number 1, -8 minus -3. So I'm going to put -8 counters on the table. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it says take away 3 negatives. Do I have 3 negatives to take away? Yes, I do. So I'm going to take away the 3 negatives, and I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 negatives. I'm going to go ahead also and draw that on our paper. So when we draw negatives, we fill in the circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To represent that we're taking something away, we're going to circle it and draw an arrow. So we were taking away 3 of the negatives. So circle 3 of them and draw an arrow. That tells me that you're taking those away. So I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 negatives. All right, number 2. It says I have 9 positives and I want to take away 2 negatives. So I'm going to put 9 positives on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now I want to take away 2 negatives, but I've got a problem. I don't have any negatives to take away. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to add negatives to the table. However, every time I add 1 negative, I also have to add 1 positive. I'm going to show you why in just a second. So I add the 1 negative and the 1 positive. 1 negative, 1 positive. Right there I added to the table, move it up just a little bit, I added up 2 0 pairs. So I really didn't change the value of this expression. This is still positive 9. Because right here, this is 0, this is 0. So right now I still really only have positive 9 on the table. But the expression tells me now to take away 2 negatives. Now I have those 2 negatives, I take them away, and I'm left with 11 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that model on my paper. So I have 9 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't have any negatives to take away, so I add 2 of them. But when I add 2 negatives, I also have to add 2 positives in order to keep this as positive 9. Now here's the 2 negatives I can take away, and I'm left with positive 11. So sometimes you have what you want to take away, sometimes you don't. So let's try the next one. -2 minus -5. So I'm going to put 2 negatives on the table. 1, 2. Now I want to take away 5 negatives. I don't have enough negatives to take away. So right now I have 2, but I need 5 to take away. So I'm going to add 3 more. 1, 2, 3. But when I add 3 negatives, I also have to add 3 positives. Because right here, this expression is still -2. Because all of this is 0. Now I can take away the 5 negatives, and I'm left with 3 positives. So let's go ahead and draw that out. 2 negatives. And then I want to take away 5, so I needed 3 more. 1, 2, 3. But I also have to put in 3 positives. Now I'm going to circle what I want to take away, the 5 negatives. And I'm left with positive 3. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last one. We're starting off with 4 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to take away 7 positives. I don't have enough. So I'm going to add 3 more positives so I can be able to take away 7. But when I add the 3 positives, I also have to add the 3 negatives. Okay, now I still just have 7 on the table because all this, again, I still have 4 on the table because remember this is just 0. So I can take away the 7 positives and I'm left with 3 negatives. So we have 4 positives and I needed 3 more to take away. So I add 3 0 pairs. I take away the 7 positives and I'm left with -3. Okay, so that's how we subtract using our 2-color counters. I'm going to go ahead and make another video on how to use these number lines down here. So don't forget to watch the second part.